The following episode will contain spoilers. You have been warned.
You're listening to Cinema IRL, the podcast that throws you into the movie and asks the question, what would you do? Gold bricks. You never think of them being the bane of your existence, but they kinda are when they are the Yakuza sitting in a small-town bank vault. Now listen to Amber and Scott discuss Normal. And now, Cinema IRL.
I wish I could switch places for just one day.
What would you do?
Put yourself in my shoes.
How do we handle this?
What would you do?
Put yourself in my position.
What would you do?
Now it's your turn.
I have seen a lot of movies, and this movie was not normal.
But it was normal.
Didn't seem that normal to me.
Okay, well, it was normal. Trust me.
Okay, if you say so. What was the name of it?
Normal.
Oh, okay. Then I guess it was normal.
It was normal. Yeah, this is Bob Odenkirk's latest film, and it is about a guy who fills in as a temporary sheriff in this small little town of like 1,000 or so people. And he's filling in because the prior sheriff apparently wandered out into the snow, mostly without clothes, and supposedly some sort of fishing line to go fishing in the middle of the night and froze. And so he's filling in, and it sounds like a normal little town until it's not.
Well, it was definitely a normal little town.
It was.
It was by definition a normal little town.
Okay. Is this going to be the whole episode?
Yes.
So
we're just going to turn normal into a drinking game.
Okay, well, I think we'd be pretty drunk then. So we see him just kind of settling in and meeting the townsfolk, and everyone seems nice.
Nice and what?
Normal. Shots. And we have a chance encounter with a girl. It seems nice enough, but we see she has a gun. He doesn't see, but he meets this girl at the vending machine. And it turns out she and her boyfriend are there to rob the Normal Bank and Trust. And yes, shots. And that's when everything starts to go sideways. Not because the bank is being robbed, not because these two people have come into the town, but because these two people came into this town to rob the bank and go into the bank. They are at risk of exposing the secret in the town.
What's the secret in the town?
They're basically a depository for Asian gang money and gold bricks and weapons.
I think the word you're looking for there is Yakuza.
Yes.
The Yakuza.
Yes, that's a fancy word.
Yeah. Japanese gangsters.
Yeah. So the act of this gal, Lori, showing up with her boyfriend Keith at the bank puts all of Normal on alert, saying they can't find what's in the vault. And at that point, we come to realize that the entire town is in on this relationship with the
Yakuza.
Thank you. That the Yakuza gets to store all of their stuff there in the bank at Normal, and everyone in Normal buys in on this. They do not speak of it, and anyone who objects to this gets wiped out in some way, shape, or form.
They do seem to find an early grave.
Yeah. So what would you do if you were Bob's character, who is Sheriff Ulysses, and realize that you're going in to address this issue at the bank, and all of a sudden your officers start shooting at you?
I would find that odd.
You think? Yeah.
I would find it weird why the people on my team were starting to shoot at me.
Yeah, and they are pretty successful, and they shoot up people in the bank, and they're shooting at you, and it's very clear that they are not trying to remedy this situation. Ulysses was trying to talk these people through this situation, especially since he had met the girl the day before or so, and was doing what good law enforcement does. But, you know, when you take a bullet to your bulletproof vest, you realize that, wow, okay, these people are not on my side. So what would you do at that point?
That's really hard because at that very moment, you literally have no idea who to trust.
Yeah, you've got to be insanely confused, and you don't have time to think about it because you are all of a sudden now in a war zone where there are bullets flying, and they're very obviously aimed at you.
Yeah, I kind of feel like he summarized it best later that the people from that team were trying to shoot at me, and from your team wasn't?
The bank robbers.
Yeah, so I'm going with y'all.
Yeah, and they had to form an alliance because even though the two people were trying to rob a bank, they weren't trying to hurt him. So at that point, yeah, you do have to basically form that very typical the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of a pact.
I mean, he was trying to give CPR to a guy who was having a heart attack.
One of the robbers, Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't bad people. For whatever reason, they were desperate, and I'm sure a lot of crime is committed by desperate people who just feel like they don't have any other choice.
So, just as a side note, and this might not make a lot of sense, I'm just saying that if I bought a caramel bar to help somebody knock their item down off the vending machine, I'd make sure I got my caramel bar.
Yeah, that was Ulysses' first encounter with Lori before she tried to rob the bank, and you were very upset about that. I saw and heard your despair.
I mean, he did not seem like the type of person who was just throwing caramel bars everywhere going, I'm the caramel bar king here. You can have a caramel bar and you can have a caramel bar.
Yes, no, he wasn't Oprah.
I mean, the dude had coins in his pocket.
But yeah, it's a small town. Sometimes you need coins.
Who carries cash? Apparently not the bank.
Yeah, that was definitely the thing is they went to rob the bank and they're like, yeah, we don't have cash. Nobody uses cash anymore. And then they wanted to see the vault. And the vault is where the Yakuza and Olive...
That was the most interesting pronunciation of that word I've heard. Yakuza?
Yakuza? Where their hull was. So they could not allow them to go down to the vault. So this starts a spiral of comedic death action for the rest of the film of these three people being against the 1,000 people in the town who were trying to take them out and them basically having to kill people left and right just to stay alive. It is a action / dark comedy / comedy / Yakuza, yeah. So what would you do at this point where you realize there's this terrible storm, you don't really have any way to get out of this town because of that storm, and you are stuck with 1,000 people now who are out to get you?
I don't give two craps about the storm. I'm getting the hell out of that town one way or another. I don't care. Because if I got 1,000-something people after me trying to kill me...
But isn't that the obvious thing is if you try to get out of town, like there's one road into town, one road out of town, like they're going to know where to come looking for you.
Then you go through a field.
A field in a snowstorm.
I mean... That
sounds like a great idea.
No, I don't think it was actually. Either.
No, yeah, you're right about that.
I don't know, maybe you could just get in the vault where the Yakuza has lots of military arms, and then you could blow the mayor's face off.
Okay, well that's not a what would you do, that is a what the writers wrote.
But I think it's a pretty good idea.
Okay.
I mean, if you've got access to, like, I don't even know what those were.
Listen, I have no interest in guns. I do not like anything pertaining to artillery or weaponry or anything like that. But he had some sort of device that he aimed at cars, and the cars flew up in the air, in flames, and exploded. I wouldn't mind trying that.
I mean, they weren't
in a controlled environment.
They weren't rocket launchers, but when they hit, they seemed to have the same impact as a rocket launcher.
Yeah, it was kind of impressive, and apparently Bob Odenkirk trained for a lot of these stunts because of his film Nobody, which actually, ironically, as someone who comes from the world of comedy, has turned into somewhat of a action star late in life, kind of like Liam Neeson did.
He's nobody. He's normal.
Yeah, Liam Neeson used to just do films where people talked with accents and sometimes were period set, and then he became an action star late in life as well.
Yeah, and then he did The Naked Gun.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, no, he definitely shifted, and Bob Odenkirk certainly is as well. So at one point, he leaves the two robbers in the vault because he is trying to secure the area. He's trying to make sure nobody gets in. And my first thought is, why are you leaving robbers alone in a vault with a bunch of cash and gold bars? What would you do if you were either the sheriff or the robbers or both in that situation?
I mean, let's be honest. I don't really give a damn about the money at that point. I care about something not killing me.
Okay, so you wouldn't touch the cash or the gold bars? I know you.
Am I the robber or am I the sheriff?
Well, both. Either.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, of course they take the gold bars. Just for protection, in case you need to whack someone in the head with it later.
See, but here's the thing. The guy, Keith, one of the two robbers, actually did end up lifting a gold bar, which later, he did use as a weapon to save his life and smash somebody in the head. But here's the thing. He said as they were driving out of town, when Ulysses said, go to the hospital because he had been injured in that gunfire exchange. Or not even exchange. They didn't even have guns. It was just gunfire, incoming gunfire. But he said, how do we sell this? So that's actually a huge thing. If you're going to be unscrupulous and take something that doesn't belong to you, cash is definitely, you're better off with a chunk of cash than trying to find out how you move a gold brick.
Well,
how do you move a gold brick, especially when you know this money belongs to bad guys, that if they know you have one of their gold bricks, they just probably want to murder you.
Well, you either take it to a jeweler or a coin store or something like that, because they are used to handling gold and silver.
But they also have to ask sometimes, where did this come from? I mean, I know that from your friends and neighbors, because even fences have ethics.
I was about to say, if they don't have a guy, they probably have a girl. So
you have to, I know in that moment you're fighting for your life and thinking quickly, but just plant that solution in your head before it happens, so if you're ever in a tight spot, what are you going to grab? Grab the thing that's easiest to use, because even in bank robberies too, bad guys have to hang on to a bag of cash for years, as soon as it's safe and enough time has passed to use the cash.
You also could just go to a smelter and just be like, I want this bar smelted into...
You just want to say the word smelt?
Smelt. Smelter. Usually you would say that if somebody's being really creepy. Yeah, he smelt her.
What? Is that a thing? Are you being funny?
Smelt her.
Okay, that's... Yeah. Ew. Okay.
Anyway, you go to a smelter and you give them an order and be like, I'm looking to have this thing turned into 100 or so of, or however many of this one thing that it can make.
I mean, everyone has a smelter on their contacts list.
Well, yeah. You don't?
I don't.
I mean, you've got a cremator.
I do.
Why not a smelter?
I do. We all have our specialties and our niches. So,
but seriously, that's what I'd probably do, is because you're right, you don't want to really keep it in the bar form.
But here's the irony: you, as a normal person, could likely put that gold bar in the middle of your coffee table in your living room and invite people over for a party. And be perfectly okay, because who would ever think that was real? They would think it was some sort of piece of decor you got at Home Goods. They would never think that was real. You could hide it in plain sight.
Here's the way I see that. If I'm over at somebody's party and they have that out, I'm stealing it. Because,
wow, you are a bad guest.
Because if it's really just from Home Goods, then this is like a low-level misdemeanor. I might pay a fine, but if it's real... Then I just stole a gold effing bar.
Wow, this is actually the second red flag for anyone who meets Scott to not allow him into your home, because we already found out on a prior episode that he will look in your medicine cabinet if he is in your home and goes to the bathroom. He will look. He might even look in your cabinets. We have already talked about this.
Wait. When did I say I would look at people's medicine cabinets?
Because there was this... What was the film about the college student who accused one of her male professors of inappropriate...
Are we talking about the toilet paper?
Yeah.
I wasn't looking in the medicine cabinet. I was looking for butt wipe.
I understand that, but...
You don't find butt wipe in the medicine cabinet.
Okay, it's not butt wipe, it's toilet paper.
Sorry.
But either this came up in this conversation or it came up in another conversation about how you will look in people's cabinets.
No, that's not true. Actually, I don't, unless I'm in a status or something needs to be wiped, I have nothing to wipe with.
We've had a conversation before about that you would look in someone's medicine cabinet. So I guess we've expanded.
Except I don't. Except I have lots of real life experience that says I don't.
Do you have any that says that you have?
No, because I respect people's boundaries.
You do not. Are you saying you have never opened anyone's medicine cabinet? Is that what you are trying to say right now?
Not unless I had a specific reason, which usually involved permission from the owner.
Or could that specific reason be I'm nosy?
No.
No.
I have respect for people and their possessions.
You do not. Okay, so I know.
Sadly, I'm not even being funny. I actually do have respect.
I know.
One of us has respect.
I know we have had this conversation about you opening someone's medicine cabinet. I know for certain I would stake my life on it. So, you're
welcome to go find the episode.
Again, I don't know if it's an episode. Maybe it was a conversation, but I do remember us in that episode of you talking about going through someone's cabinetry. So, medicine cabinet, cabinetry, and that you would steal something from their home if you were there at a party if you thought it was worth something. Folks, pay attention to this. Do not allow Scott into your home. This is important.
This seems like a really good time to go to commercial. We'll be right back.
Overwhelmed by the technical side of podcasting? Duncast makes creating a professional-sounding podcast incredibly simple.
I was terrified of the technical side of podcasting. Duncast made it so simple that I launched my first episode in under 30 minutes.
Just record, and our patent-pending AI tools handle the rest, giving you studio-quality sound at a fraction of the time and cost. We also distribute your show to all major platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so all you have to worry about is being the creator.
If you want it done fast, use Duncast. Visit Duncast.com to start your free, no credit card required trial today.
To this commercial. And we are back, and you were saying something, and I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But it was something on the other side of the break. I'm sure we don't need to continue with it.
Yeah, sure. So, ultimately, Ulysses has this plan about, let's just pretend, because at this point the Yakuza is on the way to the town because they have been alerted that there's some sort of problem. And the town at this point is absolutely demolished from hundreds of people dying and things exploding.
See, I find the what would you do in these smaller choices.
Yes, the caramel bar?
No, not just the caramel bar. If you're a member of the Yakuza,
what would you do if the caramel bar
you
came out of the vending
probably
machine?
have a reasonable amount of money available to you. Wouldn't you buy a better eye mask for a trip other than just like this little pink one that the guy could wear?
Well, it's probably a private plane they booked, and that's probably what they had is...
Booked? You think the Yakuza's booking?
Oh, okay. Maybe they have their own one.
Yes, they have their own one.
I'm sure he's too busy getting money and arranging murders than to get on Amazon and order a proper eye mask. Don't you think?
I've ordered several proper eye masks from Amazon.
Are you a member of the Yakuza?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Okay, so
but I'm just going to say I am
oranges.
I am according to 23andMe 99.9% white. So you can guess whether or not I'm a member of the Yakuza.
Okay. So his idea is to clean up the town, hide all the dead bodies in mounds of snow, patch everything up like this was just a crazy mishap that happened because of the storm, and ironically actually gets away with it until this fateful moment where a champagne cork bounces off this and that and this and that, which ultimately bounces off the trigger of a gun who shoots the head of the Yakuza. And at that point, all hell breaks loose and everyone between the town and the Yakuza is shooting each other.
Oh, I'm trying to think of the name. I know the name of it, and I can't think of it off of hand.
Do you mean when it ricochets off?
No, like the whole, like when it goes to this. It's
Ricochet.
No, something Berg machine.
Roseburg machine?
No, it's not Rose.
It's not a Jewish thing.
No. It's
I'm just a
intern.
Berg machine.
Intern, what's it called when you have this machine with a bunch of elaborate steps that eventually does something like
That is called a Rube Goldberg machine.
a mousetrap with 25 steps before it? I know it's something Berg.
Okay, yeah, I recall you mentioning this in the past. But, I mean, that's saying that something you intentionally built. This wasn't something intentionally built. It was just a freak it was a freak accident, which resulted in pretty much everybody else who was alive at that point being killed.
There are not often freak accidents that have like 6 or 7 steps to it
It's a film.
that involve a Yakuza's head being blown off his shoulders.
A film. It wasn't real.
I felt like Bob said that this was based on
A true story?
a true story.
I don't think that happened.
Inspired by a true fictional story.
Yeah. So at that point, 3 people survive. Ulysses, the daughter of the original sheriff, who turns out he didn't die from the cold fishing. He was actually taken out by the mayor and the rest of the town because he didn't want to go along with this whole sham anymore.
Specifically, he was taken out by his bartender.
Yeah. And then the guy who was destined to be the next sheriff, who was already on the team for the sheriff's department. And everybody else mostly looked dead. So what do you do if you were Ulysses after that point? Because you have played a part in killing massive amount of people. You have killed the mayor, who deserved to be killed. And yeah, and you were surrounded by bodies. What do you do? Where do you go from there?
Well, I think the obvious answer is you go back to the vault and pick off a few more gold bars.
You know, that's actually a good point. You would have thought that at some point someone would have taken advantage of that, but it didn't seem like anybody did.
Yeah, no, that's silly.
But you know what? You don't want to end up on the wrong side of, I don't know, gangsters who take out a couple dozen people before lunchtime.
But didn't we already blow their brains out?
You think there's not more?
I don't know.
I mean, that was my thought, is they basically wrapped up this storyline where Ulysses is now a sheriff in Texas a month later, and the daughter of the previous sheriff, Alex, is his deputy, and everything's going on. And my first thought is, like, wait, if the dozen people from the Yakuza who came to solve the problem just disappeared and didn't come back, I would think that they would come up with even more enforcements, and there would be even more death and mayhem. But that didn't seem like that happened.
It would take them a while to figure that out, and in the meanwhile, I think we could smuggle a few gold bars. Also, I didn't realize you could get sheriffs like teachers. Like, hey, everyone, this is your substitute sheriff, Mr. Guns Blazing. You know, like substitute teachers. They come in and they show a VCR. Oh, God. A VCR is this old thing that you play a movie on. They roll it in. Well, I just showed my age right there. But, no, like, I didn't realize substitute sheriffs was a thing.
Well, when you're in a small town, I'm sure they're kind of loosey-goosey with how the people in the big city do it.
I guess.
We hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you for listening. And to catch all the new episodes, please subscribe. We release 2 to 3 episodes weekly, so we'll have new content regularly. Until next time.